All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. As always, thank you very much for joining me. Please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate all the support. And we're just going to be checking out the stock market again today for another daily update on the channel. Checking out S&P 500 first, just to have a little look at where we're at. Obviously, we came up and hit a new all-time high yesterday. As you can see quite clearly on the daily time frame here, we have been essentially just recovering from this big drop to the downside and continuing as you would expect. Very similar to crashes that we've had in previous years. You can see obviously during the 2020 crash that we had, we came down and recovered pretty much in the space of what were we looking at there pretty quickly, to be honest, over only about 5 or 6 months. You can see here very interesting and similar price action for the S&P 500. Obviously with Donald Trump and a lot of the tariff wars that had been going on ever since he came in, we did have a lot of volatility and a lot of dropping in the stock market as a result. You can see very clearly here with this massive drop from around 6,150 points all the way down to below 5,000 points, which was the lowest we'd been since at least a few years ago. Pretty crazy price action. But you can see here, obviously, we've fully recovered now, as you would expect. The stock market in the US always recovers massively and continues higher pretty much every single time historically that we've seen. In fact, I would say it's every single time, to be honest. The stock market has always gone higher in the past and continued higher in the future. So you can see, obviously, we had a lot of volatility, a big drop to the downside, but we've fully recovered now. And really, it's only July. So since February to July, it's about 6 months and we're fully recovered and at all-time highs. So you can see new all-time highs being set yesterday, up at 6,336.39 on the S&P 500 here, as you can see. If you look at the hourly time frame, you can see what happened. We basically had this little range that we were putting in for a little while, looking something like this, basically just going sideways. We got a little bit of a break and a retest. We came up, we pushed for a new all-time high, and we actually retraced that move to the downside, and now we're probably going to consolidate again. I'd expect we'll probably go sideways a little bit for a while and just continue to grind to the upside. No reason why this can't just continue to new all-time highs and keep on going up, to be honest. I think the conditions for the stock market to continue to rise overall is going to be pretty good over the next 6 months. Now that all this volatility has stopped, I can imagine that we just continue to, slowly grind to the upside like in previous years. Not really any catalysts that would suggest that we're going to have a huge drop unless we have some kind of black swan event like a potential war or some kind of crazy economic news. But overall, I think we're just going to be continuing to the upside for the S&P 500. Looking like we'll probably just continue grinding up towards that $6,500 area first, which would be my first target for the next few months, if my mouse actually wants to work. And then obviously $7,000 is the next target. 7,000 points up here would be the final target for this year. If we had a really crazy year, you can see we've just been continuing up nicely. So we'll just take a quick look at some of the big stocks that we've been looking at today. Nvidia here, obviously just continuing its a crazy run to the upside. Nothing much to report here apart from the fact it's basically leading the stock market on its own. On the hourly, you can see yesterday we gapped up again, as we have been for basically, I can't even remember how long. Another gap to the upside, another all-time high made. Kind of going sideways, as you can see. Right now in the pre-market, a little bit down, as you can see, but I'd probably expect this to maybe have a little retrace and continue. No reason why Nvidia won't just continue to the upside again. Tesla here continuing to recover, I would say, after the pretty interesting, strange price action it's been having. Obviously, a lot of this to do with Elon Musk and the uncertainty surrounding him and Trump's relationship, I think, largely affecting this stock right now. But I would expect this to continue to recover back up towards its all-time high over the course of this year, unless we see any kind of crazy, as I said before, crazy economic conditions or anything happening that is super bad to do with Elon Musk. Microsoft, nothing to report here, continuing the innocuous march to the upside, new all-time highs, as you can see on the hourly. Nothing to report there apart from we are continuing to grind up. Amazon coming up, making a new high, as I said in yesterday's video, going back up towards its all-time high as well after this big drop to the downside and this huge recovery, looking good. Apple in a bit of a weird spot as well, but you would expect this in the long term to recover. If you look at the 4 hour, you can see Apple does tend to have these big swings up and down, but always tends to come out on top eventually back towards its all-time high. Google looking good yesterday, as you can see, up here and up in pre-market as well, just continuing to recover from this V shape, just like the rest of the market. And a quick look at Meta here. You can see we've already recovered this full V shape. Looking really strong, Meta, isn't it? Look how good this looks. I can't believe how well this has done over the past few years. Sub $100 and it's up to $700. That's a crazy, crazy swing. Looking like it's done really, really strong. That segue into AI has really, really helped them. But overall, things looking fine today. Looking like everything's heading up. No major black swan events on the horizon, hopefully. And I think everything just looking like it's going to continue to the upside. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel, get involved down below in the description, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.